Welcome to Management 280 online offered by Harper College. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Well, today is week one. Most of you already went through my YouTube orientation. This is just going to be, I changed it just a little. If you'll notice every week, make sure you look at these weekly YouTubes for if there's any kind of changes depending on the class and the format, and they change just a little bit. Okay, so remember, so what did you learn from the thing? Always try to use Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla Firefox works out really nice. I already had this all set up, so I already have Blackboard in there. You could go into your student portal. Once you log in, then you can log into Blackboard there. So I will log in into Harper Blackboard. Remember, your password is the same password that you would be using for your email. Okay, so I'm going to log in, and what you've learned from and then you're going to find your course, and this one is Management 280. I'm going to log into my course, and remember, you always see my nice face in here. You have the requirements. You're required to log in three times during the week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But by Tuesday, your first post has to be posted. This first week, it's just going to be a bio. You're going to talk a little bit about yourself, just like just chat with other people within the classroom in your forum. Next week, they're going to be graded. And you're going to get a grade, but next week, graded forum. That means you got to log in on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and it can be any time of the day, or Tuesday for your first post. So your first post has to be made by Tuesday, and then you will respond to one of my questions. It's going to be very specific questions to the chapter reading. You'll respond to that question and to me, and then you'll respond to three other students within that. Within your class, hey, I agree with you, I don't agree with you, did you think about this, or hey, that's a different way of looking at it, and then you'll log out, and then you'll see what they respond back to you. So a forum replaces what you would call attendance in the classroom. This is your virtual learning. Just like you would in the classroom, you'd be doing this within the classroom, only online in a virtual classroom. Okay, so you come in here. It tells you everything you need for this. You read the YouTube, do the reading chapter 1 or 2. But I wanted to really refresh on this one. So you're always going to go to your weekly module. If you see here your weekly module, before you make sure you put in not just syllabi. You have your concept maps, so we're going to be talking a little bit about the subject matter, the real good learning things. You have your PowerPoints. Check your grades. You'll know your grades weekly. On an online class, feedback is very important. So you could tell exactly, did I miss something or what's going on. You might not got all the points this week, but you don't want to pick up the same pattern going forward. And then you have your research paper and all these other things. So we're going to always start off in your weekly module. And if you notice this week, now you will only see week 1. The other ones are all closed off. Since this isn't I'm in an instructor's view, I have a little different view than what you have, but pretty similar. So you're going to go into week 1 and say, hey, what's required for week 1? In week 1, you have your online orientation. I'll give you a link. This is the video you're going to be looking at. This is an original one, but I'm going to change it a little bit. And here's the overview for the week. You click on that, and here's what it's going to tell you. You're going to look at the YouTube clip, what you're doing now. You're going to read Chapter 1, the People Center Manager, and Chapter 2 is on Culture. You're going to do Connect. Remember, connects are required. I've replaced quizzes that in the overview. Some of my classes, I make them do quizzes. They'll do the Connect and the quizzes. I'm trying a little bit different. So I've replaced the quizzes, but I've increased the points for the quizzes in your Connect. So instead of 10 points for each Connect chapter, it's worth 20 points. And instead of taking it as many times as you can, as explained in the, might have been in the overview, you get 2 tries. So it's not like a quiz, it's a learning, but it's a different way of learning. That's why the integrated software, you're using the Connect software. Part of Connect software is what I sometimes will talk about LearnSmart. That's another version of the same Connect. So there's different takes of a way of learning. That's what you're going to enjoy. That's worth 40 points. You have all the way to Saturday to complete your I gave you to Saturday to complete your connects and your forms, but sometimes I'll leave it open till Sunday. But once Sunday comes, you have to start on your new connect, your new reading, and everything else. So what I would do is read the chapters over a weekend, do the connect homework. The first time, if you got the grade you want, if you get max, there's no reason to take it over. Or if you got the points that you feel comfortable for that, no problem. Or you could submit it, you see what your score is, and retake it again. I set this up, if I ain't mistaken, I set it up so you'll see either the same questions or different questions. It'll be a little change. My whole thing is for you to learn in this class, all right? So try to always do your best on it. Okay, so then you go back. Remember, here's so that's the overview. Then I'm going back into week 1 module. You always go back and forth on here. And then your Connect homework, you'll click on here. The first time you click into one of these homeworks. You have a tutorial for 5 points. You have chapter 1 is worth 20 points, and chapter 2 is worth 20 points. So there's separate assignments. So each one could be done twice. The first time you click in into Connect, it's going to ask you for your passcode. If you do not have a passcode, because you bought the book someplace else, you could buy the passcode online for, I think it's like either $45 or $50. Or if you haven't bought the book, you also have the option of buying the same book as the same version, everything else as an ebook. That's your call with Connect embedded in it. So when you go in there and you log in into Connect with your password, the passcode, and then every other time you do the other assignments, as long as you come in through Blackboard, you do not have to re-log in, place the password in. If you don't have the password, and you financially don't have the money right now, but you don't want to fall behind, Connect is set up where you could get a trial for, I think, in 1 week that you could take the Connect, as a trial basis. So you click in and you go into the regular things you want to do a trial basis, and you'll open up the Connect so you can keep up with the homework. But then the next week when you come into Connect and you try to log in, it's going to ask you either for your credit card or for your password. Okay, so the Connect homeworks are easy way. They have drag and drop. There's quizzes in there. There's videos in there. There's assessments in there. This whole thing will make this online learning a very enjoyable venture. Okay, so now I'm going back. So I did my Connect. Now, remember, you could do them 2 times. I look at the highest score or the due date. Once the due date comes on the online class, it is over. You can't wait to do all the stuff at the end because I want to do it. Just like in work, it's a virtual office. Okay, so we go through that. And now, so you don't have the corporate one. I was going to do it, but I was going to change it for the first one because a lot of students were having trouble from previous students to get into Connect, into this online mode. For some of you, this is your first online class. From others, this may be a refresher. Remember, just like in a face-to-face class, every online class, every face-to-face class is similar, but yet a little different depending on the instructor, on his and hers way of teaching. And it's a different way of teaching. This one is very intense. This online class that you're taking with me at Harper, or any online class you take with me, you will basically be able to do very well in virtual offices at work. You'll be able to do very well in any other online classes at a 4-year university as you go forward. Or some of you may be in a 4-year university because you're transfer students and you're trying to take the class here for a lesser amount. Okay, now, so you finish that. Now you're going to have 2 forums. Usually you'll have a major forum. You have a main forum. Now this one I didn't change, but it should have been 15 points for this forum. So I'm going to edit it for you right now just to see, it's really worth 15 points. I just haven't updated. Okay, so it's worth 15 points, and I'll update all this because I've been changing around. I'm kind of working on it. So you're going to go into this forum. You have tell me something about yourself. Something interesting. Now I have a list of things. I grew up in this area. I'm working. I'm not working. I'm a single mom. I'm a mom with 20 kids. I'm a single dad. Whatever. Something positive about this class. Now you do your post and then post to something else. The way a graded forum is worked, you're required to come in to log in 3 different days a week: Monday, Wednesday and Friday is my suggestion, but you could do Tuesday as your first post. And if you look, to be a rubric, so you'll get points as you log in. Because remember, a form is not all download. Some students want to just say, hey, I'm doing fine, and download. That's not a form. You'll never be very successful in business. Because if you look at this online course in business, statistically, this would be like 40% would be my virtual office, and 60% would be what do you call it, face-to-face operation. Most businesses now are going either 50% or 60% virtual. That means you're online, either emailing or you're Skyping somebody. It means, or you're in discussion boards or you're in videoing. So you have to be able to communicate more than just hi. I'm not hiring a wallflower. I'm hiring a person who could communicate and give me information, and just like you would in a team. Professional at a college level, well written, and you have to start using the concepts you're using out of the book. This first week is just like a socialization that you'll be reading about organization going forward. Okay, so far so good. So 15, post your posts, reply to other people, get to know an individual, because this is how you start building a networking business. This is how you're going to start building a network within your educational network to help you going forward. The last one I always will have is, so this is your major one, and the next one for 5 points is a minor one. The minor one is just to get a pulse of the class. I'll throw those in. It's like a water cooler. Hey, how are you doing? You got any questions about the class? This one, you do not have to reply to 3 other students or 3 different days of the week. All you have to say is, yes, I have a question, and state the question, and I'll try to respond to it, or other students that may know the answers could respond to it. Or you have to state, I have no questions, Dr. George, and that's it, and you'll get the easy 5 points. But you are still required to listen and read to see what other people are posting within their questions. Remember, in the subject area, I've opened it up so you could post your comment so other people could know, hey, I already have this subject area. Hey, that's the same question I have. Let me see if I can answer it, or what is the response to that question. All right, so those are easy 5 points. The main ones are always going to be worth 20 points. For this week, I gave it a bio, to build up your points. I've given you 15 points. I may up it later on, see how you guys communicate. I want you to start talking. More than just one-liners. Remember, say a few things. It's a form. I don't want 20 pages, but at least a paragraph or a few sentences other than, yep, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, you'll find out how to go for it. Okay, so that takes care of our forms. Okay, so when I go back, remember, I'm back always in week 1. So I've done everything. I already know what I got. My 2 forms. I've done everything else. So there's going to be if there will be an assessment. It'll be in here. You usually do the assessment and either in Connect or outside assessment, depending if where the assessment is stored within Blackboard or within the publisher's websites. And then you'll reply to the forum. Okay, so we're all set. You got the forum. So every week, you always go into your weekly module. You have this. You have my quick YouTube about the week, introducing the subject matter. This week is going to be a little bit longer. Most of my YouTubes are going to be the first section is going to be real short. Hey, how you doing? And the rest is going to be going. Let me go real quickly on the mind maps. But I want you to start looking at, for this week, because we're going to be talking on 2 chapters. I usually use the mind maps. Now, the mind maps, and you have the PowerPoint. So you're going to go into the overview. What is this book about? The whole book about this overview is, this tells you everything that you need to know. Print these out. These are a way for you to learn. It talks about the course. The first section is managing people in the global economy, so it has everything else. The second section is managing an individual. When you look at this course overall, organizational behavior, it is looking as you as an individual, you have a behavior. The company has its own behavior or its own personality. The individuals, I teach HR and I teach marketing. I'm a double major, for those who've read my bio, management and marketing. So HR and all that is all tied in. What you look at as a company, I have a personality. If you look at IBM has a personality, Google has a completely different personality than IBM. So from a corporate personality, the people who make that personality are people that I bring into my culture. So I try to Google brings in more people that are younger, more innovative, more internet suave, for lack of better words. IBM also brings people who are internet savvy, but they're also very more structural. They're more for the business, for networking. But they do a lot of other than computers. Their main focus now is on service, and they do a lot on what do you call it? Creating networks and helping people surf the net, or businesses how to do the implement social networks and Twitter and LinkedIn and a lot of other sites. So this is what you're going to learn in this course: is the personality, the culture of a company. I need this personality. If I understand how a company buys, helps me, or thinks, helps me from a marketing perspective, selling to them. When I'm hiring someone within the company, I bring in people that have similar likes within the company, that have the certain values and companies' norms and social responsibility that majority of the culture has. If I want to change the culture of a company, and this is what they, organizational behavior, I will start bringing in different people that have the culture attributes that I want to be in the future. Does that kind of make sense? You'll see what happens to go. I just want to give a general idea. So you'll have this mind map, and let's see, I will close this one off, right? And I'm going to go back to week 1. Now week 1, now let me explain the mind map. The mind maps, I've brought them up. You will always have, this first chapter 1, I've given you a complete mind map. So it has everything you need. The mind maps are outlines. So what you're going to see on this one, you'll see Pfeffer's 7 people-centered practices. So if I'm looking at most people, when they're looking at an organization or working for a company, coming into a company, they have certain ideas. They may like, here's my discipline, this company will meet my needs, but it also meets other needs, so, and the company understands that. So when the company's looking at individuals, they're looking at job security, that's what I'm going to offer. They're very careful about who they hire, because it's very hard for me to fire someone, with the legal ramification. Plus, it's a waste of resources. If I don't bring the right person in and I fire them, or have to let them go in and say, business people say fire, unhire, it's cost me, because by the time I've got all the resources and everything else, I got so much money invested in the training, and the person leaves. That's why the first 6 months or 3 months are very critical in whether I'm going to retain the individual or let the individual go. So you have that. So, but what I wanted you to see is that I have all this detail. See all this information, everything you have. You have McGraw. You already had that in some of this information. You already had in Management 111, which was a prerequisite for this introduction to business organization. So you know how the whole company operates as a whole. Now, since I understand that, but now I'm looking at in the company, how do I start bringing these individuals that basically meet the company objectives, that has the culture, that has the same values, that has the same training, same understanding. I'm a well-oiled machine or organization going forward as a team. Okay, so you have all this. So read this, and has all this information. Okay, so now I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to end up this one. This is chapter 1. And chapter 1 in any book is basically an overview of the whole book. It tells you a little bit about everything. So this one, it talks about e-commerce, different levels of global customer service responsibilities. So it's a real good chapter. It's a good introduction to this whole course that you're looking at, organizational behavior. Now, Chapter 2, let's start good. Now, if you notice my Chapter 2 concept maps, I'm going to make this a little bit larger. You can just go in there, page width, so it's easier for you to see. If I notice in Chapter 2, you'll have a video in there, so I'll make you look at one of the videos. But look at this. You have it has some information, but if you notice here, observable artifacts, and active values, basic assumption. This is all the layers of a culture going forward. Now we're starting getting into the meat of a culture. You have to understand, if I'm understanding my customers, I have to understand their likes, their dislikes. I have to understand their generations. I have to understand everything. The same concept, the same understanding of a customer, I have to understand of a company. But now I have the people in this. So how do I understand a person? I look how he or she works. So here I look at the certain artifacts. If you notice, I didn't give you the full level. I've only give you a plus. It means there's more in here. When you read the chapters, when you look at the PowerPoints, you'll start using this as an outline. This is how you learn. the more you could see. This is a general outline of the whole chapter, what I feel is important. The yellow is more important than the non-yellow, but they all are parts of this chapter. And then when you're reading this, print this out, you add into it. So when I read the chapters, I do my notes, and I'm adding into this. What it does, it gives me, it stimulates more senses than just me talking to you, because the more senses I can involve, the better it gets into my long-term memories where I'm trying. Okay, so you're going to look at 4 functions of a culture, competing frameworks, and all this stuff you'll get in here. For this chapter, read it, on it. When we're going to go forward, my short YouTubes, I will be going into a different program called Mindjet that creates these, and what they will basically be doing, I will give real quickly an overview. I'll start doing more of a lecture for the chapters other than what you have done. It's kind of like a flip in a classroom, so you're not really completely left alone, and with the software and a little bit of my input, you should do very well going forward. So we close this off, and well, that's about it for the chapter. Remember, you're all done. One thing I want you to remember, always go to my grades. Now, if I look at my grades, I have no grades because I don't have any grades. Let's see, tools and communications. You could also go to the grade book through in here. I set it up. But if I look at tools and communication, you could go directly to McGraw Hill Connect. I think it's in here through this website. Or if you brought the brand new book here, there's a website other than Connect. You could find some, I think, PowerPoints or some other things. Remember, Connect. The homework assignment I do with Connect are specific to your points that come into Blackboard. You could also, when you finish the homework assignment, before returning back to Connect, hit your home page. In your home page, you will find flashcards, a whole bunch of array of different stuff for you to learn. So right now, you have everything else. Check the homework, research paper. There's information on the research paper, what's going to be needed. You have my online orientation. You have my bio. Remember, everything that your whole life is going to work on this weekly module. Everything will be turned off by Sunday or Saturday midnight, and then for the first week I'll leave it a little bit open so you can get on there. But then afterwards you'll be all done. So anyway, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. Remember, you always start off your week. Read everything else is on your weekly module. This is where you're going to start off. You're on week 1. You finish week 1. Go into the forums, do everything else you need in here, and this class will be enjoyable. And go, you finish everything you do on here, and then they'll be turned off. And the next week you'll have week 2, and you start the process, so you'll know everything is. I put everything else in one location for you. Again, welcome to Management 280 week 1 online, offered by Harper College, covering chapters 1 and 2. 1 is just a general about the organization, and 2 basically talks about socialization and everything else that the companies, how they bring in people into into an organization. So I'll see you within the forums to find out a little bit about yourself. And then next week, week 2, is when we're going to start cracking the books. We're going to have graded forums, rubrics, login, and everything else. So again, thank you for signing up for this course, and I hope this is exactly what you're looking for. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Bye. Yes.